Episode 62 eBay Seller Conundrum. What would you do? Welcome to the 62nd episode of the Card Diary by Hobby S. Thompson. I am your podcast host, Denny Cards. You can find me on Threads at Denny_cards. Just kidding. Instagram, I don't know. I mean, some people use Threads. I still am. I just no one really does much there. And also much less on other social media platforms, including YouTube. Man, having this chat with Neo really does make me want to try to see if I can get into the YouTube game, just to, I don't know, increase the platform viewership. Just a bunch of things you could do, right, with YouTube, just more long form, kind of like the podcast. But love the podcast, love the Instagram content. Yeah, I guess I'm saying I love myself. It's all good. I think we have to, right? Um, for this mini monologue intro, before I get to part two of my chat with Neo Cards and Comics, which, man, just shout out again to him for just such a good conversation, good and funny. He's a good dude. But I want to briefly talk about a mistake I made in the hobby, if you will indulge me, which I guess you have to because um, I'm recording. As some of you may know, I say that I'm a jack of all trades and master of none in the hobby, just wearing my different hats and just trying different things, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like. And being a seller on eBay is no exception. I I think I really like shipping and handling after sales are made. I'm not making a lot of money doing it, but it helps me shed the cards that some of it's like regret buying, like remorse, buyer's remorse, and then just cards that just don't have as much meaning anymore. So, starting with these really low raw cards, I think eventually I'll get to some of my slabs on better cards and things like that. But I just have such a low eBay rating and still new to the platform. Like I've had it for a year, but I go through these spurts of selling because I like to batch list. I like to batch, like fit. I don't know why. I just can't list one, two, three, even like 10 cards for sale. I just feel like if I have a night, a Saturday or Sunday night with auctions ending, because I like to do these 99-cent auctions with 199 shipping. I feel like I have to do so many. I don't know why. That's just the way I operate. So I recently had a 3-day weekend. This past weekend, at the time of this recording, was Martin Luther King Day Jr. Some people had that day off, and so it was a 3-day weekend. My I didn't have any listings end on Monday on Martin Luther King Day, and I try not to list for things ending on Friday. I think there's just less visibility, not visibility, but the auction end time on Friday night's tough. Same thing with Saturday night. I'm finding Saturday night just kind of doing this, like, I don't know if it's true A/B testing because it's different cards and different weekends and all this stuff, but I found Saturday night's not that great either. So a lot of people talk about how Sunday night is like the golden night, or the 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern is like the golden hour. I don't know. I'm still figuring it all out. But that's not the point of this story. I just went on a huge divergent tangent. I recently had, this past weekend, I sold 20 plus cards to 20 different buyers, because some of the buyers bought 2 or more cards. And these were all PWE. Unless I think there was one package that wasn't, because there's just so many cards. It had to be in like a small box or a bubble mailer. PWE, for those who are not familiar, stands for plain white envelope. And so these sales, eBay does allow for plain white envelope shipping. The card has to be valued, or the cards total have to value $20 or under. They have to be raw cards, not slabbed, because slabs can't fit into a plain white envelope. Also known as ESE, which stands for eBay Standard Envelope. I don't know. I'm learning all of this too as I go along. So, um, well, likely because these are all small cards, I have a very high pair rate. I know there's a lot of people who get frustrated, non-payers and all that, and I'm not even trying to make a mega bet joke in here, but just I can maybe count on two hands, maybe even one out of you know low several hundred, like maybe three, four. I don't know how many sales. I haven't looked into like all my analytics for my eBay sales this past year, which I probably have to do just to figure out what I'm doing right and wrong better. But the buyers very, very rarely do not pay. Moreover, my buyers pay really quick. Most of them do. I don't have to send a invoice. I do send invoices for combined shipping, where it's like, if they win multiple auction items, I do say in my descriptions for my listings that I combine shipping and all that. It just makes sense, right? Because it doesn't cost $4 to ship two cards in a plain one envelope. I mean, heck, it doesn't even cost $2, but that's where I make my margins. Um, I also do find that baseball card buyers pay the quickest. That's just anecdotal, and just I'm just one seller, small seller, but it's some of them almost pay instantaneously. Again, these are small cards, so that's one reason. Another may be that because I have a small storefront and I don't have as many eyeballs as others, that my auction listings are selling for really cheap, like below comps. And so I think I do generally find, I don't know if you're the same way as a buyer or as a seller, but if a card sells for below comps, people are pretty quick to pay to lock it in versus people who overpay, again, quote unquote comps, and who knows what, comps, so much talk about comps. But when people pay over comps, again, not a megabit joke, but just when they pay over comps, they just kind of delay or they drag their feet in buying, in paying, I mean. But nothing against the other sport buyers. I do find, again, anecdotally, just myself, that baseball card collectors tend to be really passionate, really reliable, and they also tend to be more set collectors. And so, why do I say all of this? Man, I can't believe I've said so much this more than I wanted to, but I hope some of this is useful to you. It's not to gloat about my sales, okay? I mean, but I am very proud of myself. Like, I think you always have to be your own biggest cheerleader in everything you do, in and out of the hobby. But it's because over this past weekend, I had a sale of a 2023 Topps Series 1 Raphael Devers serial numbered out of 2023 cards. I don't have the specific number in front of me. Not that it matters. I used to, when I did these eBay listings, I used to put the exact number. Found that that actually hurts the algorithm or doesn't help, or not just the algorithm. It's unnecessary information. We're not talking like first on the print, last on the print, jersey number match cards. We're talking just a random number, and especially at a really high serial numbered card. So my auctions, like I said, generally start at 99 cents, buck 99 for shipping. Again, that's where I make my margins. I think I already said that. And so I have some buyers that just buy one card and others that buy a bunch. And they say that it's for their own dollar bins or value bins for card shows. And the only reason I know that is because some of the buyers, they've reached out to me via DM on Instagram, and they'll say, "Wow, thank you, great value." It's almost like I don't think they mean to rub it in my face. I think they're just genuinely excited or happy, but they'll DM me and go, "Wow, I got all these cards for this amount." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. Just there was no underbidder, there was no second bidder." Um, but I love receiving messages where people are happy, even even if it's at my own expense. I guess sometimes, not all the time. But this person, okay, and I won't mention their name and all that. I will mention the specific card. They buy this one card, the Raphael Devers out of 2023, from 2023. Uh, I go to my box of cards up for eBay sale, and I go through my baseball section, okay, and I search for the card. And I am searching, and I am searching, and I am searching. I can't find this card. And I don't know about you, again, whether you are an eBay seller or not, but when you have a pile of cards, right? I mean, we all have our piles, right? Piles usually in top loaders, but sometimes we have piles, again, mainly when you're a seller, in penny sleeves, semi ridges, raw, just when you're taking pictures of cards. And so I can't find the card. I just can't. And sometimes the cards can stick together when they're in penny sleeves. And so I think maybe it's stuck to the back of, one of these other cards, but I just can't find it. And in the back of my mind, I wonder, did I possibly include this card in a Christmas package to my friend's son? And the reason I thought that was he likes Rafael Devers, among other players in the New York Boston region, because they're from Connecticut and people in that area get to do things like that. It's like depends on how north or south, how much closer you are to Boston or New York, in the Connecticut region to do that. So, I sent his son. I've seen his. We've met up in the past. Like he's a good friend outside of the hobby, which means like one of the rare people you still talk to who don't collect cards. But his son collects cards, and he loves his player low end, because this is a low end card, right? It's serial numbered so high. So I mailed him the package, and I just can't remember if I included that card in there. So sent him Red Sox, Knicks, Nets. I think maybe in Patriots, because again, that's what happens when you're a collector in that area. And the thing though is, one, I can't remember if I sent it to him. Two, and again, you have to be an eBay seller to know this, but some of your eBay auction listings, like unless you ask it not to relist, or I forget what the default is, opt in, opt out, that type of thing. It This card automatically listed, okay, and it relists up to I think 7 times, and again, unless you stop it. So I asked my friend to look too in his house. I'm like, hey, by any chance, did I send this card over the holidays? And upon his initial review, he's like, no, he can't find it. Like, we don't have it. So I have one business day shipping set up because I'm trying to be this, like, I don't know, like top rated eBay seller. Helps with something. I don't know, but trying to do my best, right? Trying to keep a good reputation up on eBay. In the meantime, because he says this, I'm going through all my cards, at this point, not just the eBay sales. I'm going through like basically my entire collection, right? I'm just like, I go through all my sports, I go through all my different piles, different boxes, and I got to take a breather because I'm just like talking way too long here. I'm going a bit nutty and I'm getting nervous. I'm just like, where is this card? And it's all over a dollar card. And it's like 1 a.m. I've been searching for hours, with breaks. I got to eat too and all that, and got a family here. But at some point, I know I need to go to sleep. I have to. And so I reach out to the buyer, and where's my phone? I should have had this set up already, but I'm gonna go to my eBay messages, and this is a much longer intro than I want to do. But okay, hi, so and so. Thanks so much for bidding and winning this card. Unfortunately, I am having a hard time finding it. I've looked at all my other baseball cards for sale and also my other sports and non-sports cards, but cannot locate it. I know I have to ship by tomorrow, so I wanted to offer you two options. Next message. This is at 12:54 a.m. One is to offer you other top series 1 out of 2023 cards, up to 3, because you can fit up to 3 in a plain white envelope. And I say I can give you a list of these type of cards because I don't know if he's collecting that set. The other is to offer a refund. And then I said, I guess another option is to offer different Red Sox or Devers cards, or any other team. Again, because I don't know this buyer, right? I don't know what they like, who they like, why they wanted this particular card. So I say, please let me know what you think. And if you have another idea in mind, please let me know. I'm really sorry about this. This is literally the first time it's happened to me over, and then I wrote 300 sales. I think I just guesstimated. But I think I'm at least at 300. But again, all dollar cards. This is like not all dollar cards, mostly all value bin type of cards and like PWE. Um, Oh, also, well, I will say I sold a card at a pretty, not a high, but like a card, buy it now offer, bin, and someone smashed a bin. I didn't want to talk about it. I haven't made content about it because I wanted to make sure the payment went through and that there wasn't going to be a refund. But it was a Tops Now Victor Wembanyama card, PSA 10, and uh, I won't get into that. Oh my gosh, so many tangents. Um, the buyer responds back with, "Hello, that's unfortunate. I was looking for that card specifically. If maybe another numbered Devers card, if you have any. If not, I'll take a refund." And he sends that 6:37 a.m. Literally, well, I was gonna say literally within an hour, but well, actually, it is literally within an hour. 7:29 a.m. The next morning, or the same morning, within an hour of this buyer's response. My buddy, we looked through the cards again, cannot find it. He has another box of cards, like, just several, again, small young collector. Uh, he has his own piles, which is awesome. His son says the babysitter moved it, though he always says that. I'm gonna ask her to look around today and see if she can find it. Sorry. Uh, not a few more minutes, like, like dozens of minutes later, but within an hour, the babysitter just arrived and found it. At this point, I'm glad, not just because of the money, or not because of the money or the eBay rotation, but just for my own sanity. I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, this card is found. So at this point, what do you do? Do you ship the card to someone who is potentially set building, or because he's a Devers card, do you send? And he already said he would accept a different Devers card, numbered Devers. I actually don't. I think when I was looking through my cards, I didn't find another numbered Devers card. I had base Devers cards. I didn't have any in slabs, but I just didn't have a numbered Devers card. So do you ship the card? Like, do you have your friend ship it to you and then you ship it from your house? Do you ask your friend, "Hey, I'll email you the shipping label." Again, this is someone who's not in the hobby, does not know how to ship. But but also the downside is you're taking a gift you gave his son and asking him to give it to another person, right? So do you do that? Do you send a different Devers card, let him keep the card, let his son keep the card, or do you issue a refund? At this point, wow, you know what? This is 17 minutes in. I'm gonna leave you with this cliffhanger because one, this intro is already getting way too long, but I guess also like it's something different. I don't know. I've never done something like this. Leave you with a cliffhanger. Not trying to troll you as a listener, but it's let's have some fun. DM me on Instagram at Denny_cards, not on Threads. I mean, I do have a Threads account, but don't DM me on. I don't think you can DM on Threads actually either. But DM me on Instagram, or you can respond to. I think I haven't made any content about this yet, but respond to my sticker question or to my post. I don't know, right? I haven't made content about it yet, but let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's discuss. I already know, because again, the one business day turnaround, I've already made my decision. I already know what I did. But I want to know, what would you do? And also, I want to know your vantage point. Are you an experienced eBay seller? Are you an inexperienced eBay seller? Do you not sell on eBay at all? Right. So have you never even been in these shoes? Because I think it is a harder of a question when you're actually in the shoes, including that pressure of time, which is not an artificial deadline that we pull out of thin air, but you have your one business day turnaround. So I think it's a harder of a question when you're in that type of situation versus it just being a pure hypothetical or a theoretical question. So at this point, I have to figure out if I even make this into a separate episode. Geez, 20 minutes. Maybe I will have a separate episode. But, I would like to have an eBay seller on. uh, and a seller or two. I think I already found some really interesting people that I want to reach out to. I don't think they have any podcast experience, which is fine, but I think they have some potentially very interesting stories as eBay sellers. Um, and I just want to learn from them myself. If they're more experienced than me, that's the whole reason I do the podcast is, yes, I hope the listener gain some knowledge or, enter, you know, entertainment value, but it's for me too, right? So I don't know. This is all to go around to say I don't know if Neo is an eBay seller, but I know he's an awesome YouTuber, and I learned quite a bit about being a YouTube content creator in the hobby from him. And so I hope that you learn a thing or two with the curtain being revealed, not curtain being revealed, having a view behind the curtain of someone who's a content creator in YouTube, Neo Cards and Comics. Subscribe to him, hit the bell, whatever, do all the things for him if you enjoy him on this podcast, and also if you enjoy his content. Um, and if you don't, if you don't learn anything from our conversation, I just hope you enjoy the free entertainment that is our conversation. So at this point, I am going to pause or end the recording, and I am going to just make a quick decision as to whether this is a standalone episode or whether this is a very long monologue intro for Neo. So thank you. Thank you for listening, and